We protect what we love. And so my nature work is really about creating the conditions for people to come outside into nature, into a wild setting, and with a contemplative, meditative awareness, and with that quality of presence, allow oneself to be touched and moved by the beauty and the majesty of the natural world, and in that, allow the heart to open, allow the heart to fall in love, because when we love something, we want to protect something. When we love something, we want to take care of it. When we love something, we want to steward it. And that love is fed and kindled by a living relationship. Right? If we had no relationship to the earth, if it was an abstract idea, then when we hear about its destruction, we may not care so much. But when we have a living, breathing, alive, contactful relationship with the natural world, then of course we want to protect, we want to take care, we want to defend, we want to steward, we want to nurture. The reason why this practice of mindful awareness goes so hand in hand with our relationship to the natural world is because, of course, we have to we have to be present to notice. Right? Most of the time, we're not present. We're thinking about things, we're worrying about stuff, we're remembering, we're planning, we're judging, we're mostly just out to lunch. And so we miss like this glory, you know. So what is this practice? What is it? So the Buddha taught the Dharma. The Dharma is the teaching, the way things are, the truth, practice. And what is that? What does that mean? What was he pointing to? He's pointing to waking up from our ignorance, from our sleep, from our delusion. He's speaking to cultivating the heart, brightening and gladdening the heart and the mind. Understanding the truths that govern our life, the truths of our interconnectedness, our interdependence, our interrelatedness, that nothing is separate, that this thing we fabricate called me and I is often and mostly a construct, and the illusion of separation is a mirage. And one of the things that's characteristic of, I think, our time, our experience in nature for the most part, this isn't true for everybody, but certainly true on the retreats, is that when we go outside, we step outside of ourselves. So much of our suffering and our anguish comes from our mental, we're getting lost in our mental worlds. Fears and worries and dramas and self-judgments and all the stuff that you know and live with. And we go outside into a world that's not preoccupied with itself, not lost in its own drama. We start to feel a little space, a little openness, a little less self-centered, maybe. And I think in these times where the level of stress, anxiety, depression, time scarcity and general dis-ease is so it's growing exponentially, that it's essential that we have places of refuge where we don't feel that, where we feel uplift, where we feel joy, where we feel delight, where we feel openness or ease or spaciousness. And so I think it behooves us, now, there's many countries, Scotland, Korea, Japan, I don't know about this country yet. There is a doctor in San Francisco at UCSF that they're prescribing nature time for mental health. I'm just about to do some research with the Greater Good Science Center, chronicling, studying some of the work that I'm doing and other people are doing, the mental health benefits of being outside. Duh. It's like, ooh, let me figure this one out. But, it helps to have the research to validate what we already know, right? That, oh yeah, this works. This makes us feel uplifted or joyful or spacious or delight or calm or ease or well-being. And if you pay attention and you have any contact with nature, even if you're in the city, there's still sky and clouds and moon and wind and birds, and every day I see or hear something that kills me with delight. Right? That is there for the taking if we are present enough to notice, to slow down enough, to get off our phones enough, to look around, to smell, to feel the soft air caressing the skin, the warm sunlight, the flight of a bird. Right? We live in a time where we live in a planet that is outrageously beautiful and at the same time under great stress. And this eco-psychologist, whose name I forget, from Australia, coined this term, solostalgia. It's a combination of two Greek words, one for aloneness and one for pain, I think. And the word, basically, he was trying to find a word to describe the feeling that we get now when we go into nature, and rather than feel uplifted and joyful, we feel sad and grief because of what's happening to the earth. I think it's important that we orient to the beauty and to love and to the joy, because that's what's going to motivate us to act, right? Not fear. And sometimes it can help, but usually it paralyzes us. And not despair, because that paralyzes us. And not rage, because that tends to create division and duality and opposition. Not necessarily the most effective tool. Right? So Joanna Macy talks about the courage that's needed. She tells this myth of the Shambhala warrior, of the kind of spirit that's needed in these times. And the Shambhala warrior has two weapons, her teacher told her. The weapon of awareness and the weapon of compassion. Right? But it's really what it requires is a fierce heart, a courageous heart, to not turn away from the truth. To look squarely at what's happening in both the beauty and the loss. Because it's true and it's real and it's happening, and to turn our eyes away does not help. And it's hard. I find it hard every day to read. I stay very informed of what's happening ecologically, and it's painful. And I want to get mad and sad. And I do, and I weep. I just was on a retreat, very beautiful, deep retreat with Analio, this Buddhist monk. And at the end of the retreat, unusually, we had a dialogue about climate change for about an hour. And he was asked, well, what do you think is going to be most helpful? He said, mindfulness. And I kind of pushed back on that. Like, what do you mean mindfulness? It's good. He said mindfulness, because mindfulness trains us how to face the truth. Mindfulness trains us how to hold pain, hold difficulty, hold suffering, and respond to it without reactivity or collapsing.